good. Well, as you can see, partnerships are key here. I mean, partnership is like a buzzword around here. Everyone wants to partner, and it's totally appropriate. And being key to the implementation of the SDGs, there is one man who actually, as I was kind of reading more about him, is a true expert at partnering, at bringing people into partnerships together. Arrey Obsenson over here is Acting Secretary General of JCI, Junior Chamber International, and has been a JCI World Headquarters team member since 2002, which is quite a while. It's 12 years. 13 years. Huh. He actively engages large multinational corporations, which I think we should all be doing, small to medium-sized enterprises, governments, and non-profit organizations in more than 5,000 communities across 115 countries. This is massive. And he's developing and enhancing collaboration and leveraging resources to empower the young, active citizens. And it's between the ages of, what are the ages that you...
18 to 40.
18 to 40. So he's really focused in that, in the ones that the SDGs are really, really, really going to impact how they live their life, have their families, and, you know, grow up, learn everything. So please, Arrey.
Yeah, thank you very much for that introduction. So JCI is an organization, as she mentioned, that empowers, we provide development opportunities that empower young people to create positive change. And we are an organization, our target group is young people between the ages of 18 to 40. And you join a local organization by being part of a local community. So if I lived in St. Louis, Missouri, where I come from, I would be part of a local organization in St. Louis, Missouri. And all of these local organizations constitute the national organizations of JCI USA. And JCI USA and 123 other national organizations is what constitutes JCI, which is headquartered in St. Louis, Missouri. So basically what we do is provide young people with the tools, the skills, that would empower them to identify what the challenges are within their communities and take action to mobilize resources and stakeholders within their communities to find sustainable solutions. Since 2004, actually going back, we had a very interesting conversation yesterday. Going back to 1954, JCI has been very engaged with the United Nations over the years. But in 2004, we came on board, developed this Memorandum of Understanding with the United Nations to work towards the promotion and the implementation of the Millennium Development Goals. And as we began that process, it also became a learning process for us, discovering how the civil society can play a role in advancing the global development agenda, particularly young people. And in that process, we also discovered that there was a huge difference in the way development, participation in development was understood by various generations. And the more we got involved, the more we realized that it was very difficult to generalize development. That people in different parts of the world and different communities and different age groups had different priorities. And that it was very easy to look at, to have a blanket problem, and call this a problem without necessarily understanding what the root cause was. And in many cases, we were, development activities were going after the symptoms rather than the root cause of the problem. So we started an exercise within our organization to see what projects had been successful. And as we went through that process, we realized that our successful organizations were those that did not only try to solve problems on their own, but tried to engage their community around solving a problem, and that you could find more sustainable solutions if people who are affected by the problem are part of the solution, rather than you providing a solution for them. And through this exercise, we develop what we call the Active Citizen Framework. And the Active Citizen Framework is essentially based on key principles. That we must understand what the needs are in every community if we want to provide solutions to those needs. And there are various tools that exist out there, and along came something called My World, which really was a great answer to some of that. But you can't end at just understanding what the needs are. You also have to find out what the root causes are. And so over the years, we've been working with our members to develop all sorts of needs assessment tools for them to ask the right questions. So why is there poverty, or why are kids dropping out of school? Why? By asking why, you may find the right answers. And thereafter, formulating solutions that would allow the participation of all sectors of society in providing solutions, because we look at society as a three-legged stool, which involves governments, the civil society, as well as businesses. And that if we wanted to find solutions to challenges within communities, we needed the participation of all of these sectors of society to find answers. And thirdly, that it doesn't suffice to just have the engagement of the civil society, but what about monitoring and evaluating progress so that you could actually speak to success, inspire others, and maybe learn from that to get better over time. And so we developed the Active Citizen Framework, which we've been deploying very successfully, and have actually been working on very innovative tools on how we can measure success on the field. But 2015 has come along, which incidentally for us is we celebrate 100 years of our existence as an organization, but really coincides with a time in the world when we have to look forward to almost a new beginning, to a new time in the history of mankind. And we really want to work, like I said, we have no illusion that we can transform the world on our own. We have to do this in close collaboration with partners at a global level, nationally, as well as locally. And we're working with our members to build the platforms that will be able to do that. With the new development goals, with the post-2015 development goals, and what we have learned about the world going forward, we know that governments are going to become weaker in implementing policies. We know that citizens are going to become stronger. They're going to rely on all the tools that are available to make statements that would lead and inspire as well as mobilize people into action. The key of the future is going to be action that individual citizens take. The future of the world depends on individual responsibility based on what we see. And I can say this, that besides even what I've learned in JCI, I've actually tried to put in practice. I originally come from Cameroon, and it's a country that faces enormous challenges. But about 2 years ago, we started this whole idea of, now we know that individual responsibility is key to development. How can we put that into practice? And we started this movement along with JCI in Cameroon called I Am Cameroon, or Je suis le Cameroon, just in case people heard about Je suis Charlie long before Je suis Charlie, we had started this Je suis le Cameroon. And what we noticed is that the more we spoke about individuals being responsible for the development of their community, the more people started thinking about doing very small things. And it is small things that's going to make a difference, whether it's in health, in education, and all of those things will largely depend on how we can give an opportunity for young people to participate, how we can support them with the tools that will be necessary for them to participate in the development process, how we recognize the work that young people do around the world, and really, very importantly, how we give them the opportunity to take ownership of their communities. And for me, that's how I see the future of we at JCI. Thank you very much.
Fantastic.